You're listening to KCPR the Rec, your place to recreate, with your host, Caitlin, Jonathan, and Joe.
Hey there, and welcome to KCPR the Rec. Today's podcast, we will bring you a conversation about if college athletes should be compensated for their talent, give you guidance with Angel's Answers, take a look at some upcoming recreational program with what's on deck for Parks and Rec, and of course, give you the National Day for today.
Today's National Day.
Alrighty, so today is National Talk Show Host Day.
All right.
So it was created to pay tribute to TV talk show hosts and appreciate their unique form of humor, entertaining stories, spontaneous wit, and timely political jokes. So, do you know how to celebrate National Talk Show Host Day?
How do you celebrate it, Joe?
Well, it was chosen on to celebrate today for the king of late night television's birthday, John William, or also known as Johnny Carson, who was born on October 23rd, 1925.
Great. So how do we celebrate?
I mean, you just watch some talk show hosts.
Why don't we talk in our favorite talk show host voice?
I mean, I don't know if I can do. I don't even know.
That's the best way I would think you would
who
celebrate
you got
it.
for a talk show host voice
I
then?
don't know. You're the one
You got
who's
Jay-
telling us
you got
about this
Jay Leno?
National Day.
You got Jay Leno. And Jimmy Fallon just try to talk to someone, just laughs a lot.
Yeah, I know Conan more for his side glances. Yeah, I guess there's that.
This little band stuff and everything. Guillermo.
Into the Rec Room.
All right, so like Caitlin said, we wanted to have a conversation today about if college athletes should be compensated for their talent. Caitlin, Joe, what do you guys think?
I think that it is a complicated issue.
It kind of is because
That was a safe.
Yeah,
that was a very
real
safe
safe answer
route to
there.
go, Caitlin.
Like, haha.
That's complicated.
It is kind of complicated because then are you saying when you're paying college athletes, are we just paying Division I? Are we paying Division II also? I mean, paying Division III?
I mean, in a sense, they are kind of being compensated because they're getting
Nowadays.
their scholarship. So
Well, in Division III, you can't play sports, so you have to. You can't get scholarships in Division III for athletics.
not for your athletic prowess.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean that some schools don't find money somewhere.
So, Jonathan, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think that college athletes are being compensated in a sense. Like I said, they do receive, some remuneration for their athletic ability. Of course, Joe just mentioned that D3 athletes don't get paid because of their athleticism, but I think that there are maybe other ways that college athletes could use their talents to generate some funding for themselves, working with a summer sports camp or teaching classes at their local Parks and Recreation Center, like we have done with,
Wesley College?
Well, I know
Wesley College.
one of the big things was the NCAA football video games that they do. They use the likenesses of the athletes. Maybe they don't have their names on the jerseys or something like that, but they have the numbers. It's like, number 25 on Penn State. People who know the player is that's him, but it's not him. It's just a number as him, and they're using their likeness in a video game, and people buy those video games, and I guess the money goes to to the NCAA, and I guess to the.
I definitely understand from that point.
Yeah.
But my experience, I was a D1 athlete. Del State, we weren't going to be compensated or paid for soccer. We didn't get that much attention, but I think that athletes who do get paid, it takes away the whole student athlete title. So they don't really become a student athlete anymore. They just become an athlete.
Yeah.
It shifts their focus.
Yeah, they can. Coaches and universities can use scholarships to push the whole, study, the undergraduate degrees, all that kind of stuff. But once you start to pay, it doesn't have really a fine line between amateur and professional athletics.
So I know in college it was always, like our coach always said, it was academics first, athletics second. Get your athletics ready, and we'll get your academics in check, and then we'll worry about your athletics, stuff like that. Make sure you're passing because you're paying to go to school.
Yep.
Don't waste money paying to go to school
Just so you can play sports.
So you can play a sport. Like don't just come here if you want to play a sport. Come here because you want to get an education, and you also just so happen half decent at a sport. I think I can play in college.
And there are millions of kids who play in college but don't make it to the professional level. So might as well get a degree.
To be honest with you, I'd rather see a college athlete be paid for their likeness being on a video game than for their actual performance on a field. Mm-hmm. And if you really think about it, as far as the financial aspect goes with collegiate athletics, there's just not money left in the pot to pay these kids to play.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very, very few athletic programs that are operating in a surplus. I mean, you got to be one of the biggest conferences, right, to have any leftover money.
Any football team like in the Big Ten, the ones that make, they're the ones that make all, like, that's what it really is. It's the college football that makes all the money for most of the college athletics.
And then if you gotta shift money around, you gotta cut other programs. So that brings up a whole new mess of problems. But well, Joe, we got a new segment called Angel's Answers. You want to open that up for us?
Yep. So, our very own administrative secretary, Angel, she's joined us today, and she hears some very interesting and perhaps some strange questions here at the Rec Center, and I know we all get kind of some enjoyment out of that when we hear, what goes on. So
it's time for Angel's Answers.
Angel, what question, that you had to answer, do you have for us today?
Well, Joe, recently someone came in to the office and asked if they could do javelin in the park.
And
wait a second. You mean like a spear?
Yes.
That they throw?
Gonna throw a big old spear.
Yes.
In a park?
Yes.
With the children around?
Yes.
And walkers. I think I know the answer to this one. Yes.
Sounds like a good time.
I think that sounds like a blast. I'm gonna go. You know what? I think we're gonna go get javelin and start throwing them around in Brecknock Park.
I thought you were gonna say the Hun Nature Trail.
Oh yeah, I know there's plenty of open space. There.
Hun Nature Trail's off limits right now.
Oh, half of it is. Not all of
Building
it.
a bridge.
But
for Joe's wedding.
Oh jeez. So Angel, what was the answer to this question of throwing a javelin in one of our various parks?
Well, the answer was no because of children in our parks.
And did you think this was a serious question?
Yes, it was a serious question.
So
even though
someone
it doesn't
seriously
seem
asked
serious.
A weapon into a
hey
park.
man, sometimes you gotta find any place to practice.
It's a good idea, right? To throw a javelin around people? No, it's not a good idea.
Unless you don't like those people.
So I'm sure they went elsewhere. I'm just not sure where.
Hopefully they went.
Yeah, hopefully they went somewhere around nobody to throw said javelins in the air and into the ground.
All right, so let's take a look at some upcoming programs.
On Deck with Parks and Rec.
This next Tuesday, we have a volleyball clinic coming in. If you guys are interested, have any players interested in trying out for a volleyball club team, come on out to this clinic. It'll get you ready and prepared for that tryout. This weekend, we have the final weekend of Fright Night. We've had 2 very good weeks so far, and we're going to finish out strong. So if you haven't been to the park yet for Fright Night, come on out and experience how darkness changes everything.
I don't know. They might be too scared, Caitlin. They might be too scared. Come out to Fright Night.
I mean, I don't go through it. I just stand at the door.
Yeah, some of the kids from last year haven't made it out still. But besides
What?
Fright Night, we also this Saturday have Make a Difference Day. So if you are looking to volunteer your time, do some good for your local community parks, come on out and help us plant some trees. It'll be a good time. To register for any of these programs, you can check us out online at
www.co.kent.de.us/parks-recreation.aspx.
Well, thank you very much for spending your time with us today. We hope you had fun as much as we did. Our next episode, we're going to discuss esports in recreation. We're going to bring you another edition of Joe's Sounds. We'll talk to you about what's coming up on deck with Parks and Rec, and we'll give you another National Day. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Check you later.
Bye.